Hey, welcome back. Today we're finally answering the question of what is holistic health? Up until this point in the previous holistic health and hogwash videos, we've been talking about what holistic health sort of isn't. Whether it be this alternative treatment or this new age protocol, whatever. We were talking about what gets confused for holistic health. Today, I want to talk about what holistic health means to me so that you've got a better understanding of what I do as a professional. So to start things off, I've got this question that came in from one of my YouTube subscribers, Yuppie Soul, who asks the following. I'm not really understanding why you'd want to call yourself a holistic health professional. Google it, go into a bookstore, and look for this name. A massive percentage, read almost all, are the alternative healing crystal crowd. So it's not surprising people confuse you with them. Why not just dump the term altogether? That's a very good question. Why don't I dump that term? I thought about it. I have. But up until this point, I've kept it because I firmly believe that to truly be healthy, a holistic view of the body is imperative. And so as suggested, I put the term holistic into the Google machine, and here's what I got. Characterized by comprehension of the parts of something as intimately interconnected and explicable only by reference to the whole. Now, I think that's a great definition of holistic that can apply to holistic health. And the way I view holistic health is that you've got to understand that a human being is a very complex system made up of smaller systems. And the healthy functioning of the human system is dependent on the proper functioning of all the systems that comprise it. Okay? So if any one of those systems isn't functioning properly or functioning optimally, it has repercussions that reverberate throughout the entire human organism. So think of something like Newton balls. Okay? You've got these balls that are hanging suspended, and when a single input comes in from the side, it hits one ball, which ends up sending force to the next ball, and then it moves in the end until it comes back and hits the other balls, and they move sequentially in the opposite direction. And it's all fairly predictable. Now, contrast that with something like billiard balls on a table, where you've got the one ball that comes in and smashes into the rest of the balls, and they all go off shooting in different directions. It's much less predictable because each ball moves in its own direction, and then it ends up hitting the wall and bouncing off either the wall or other balls, and you have a much more complex interplay between those elements. And that's kind of what it's like to be a human. Everything we do has effects on everything else that goes on in our body. So when you take in a breath, for instance, it's not just bringing in oxygen to your lungs to go to your bloodstream. A lot of other stuff happens. Okay, for instance, the rate at which I breathe has effects on my central nervous system. The rate at which I breathe can affect my heart rate, can affect the pH balance of my blood. Okay, and it's not just breathing. Everything you do, every thought you think, the amount of sleep you get, the amount of water you drink, the kinds of food you're eating, the amount of exercise you get, and the kind of exercise you get or don't get, all have effects on how healthy you may or may not be. And so that's what I do. I teach people how to eat, move, and be healthy because so many people don't know how. And I try to do it within what I would call a holistic framework that understands that we are very complex systems within systems. To put things simply, I think holistic health boils down to 6 foundational principles. Those principles are thoughts, breathing, movement, hydration, nutrition, and sleep. In future videos, we'll cover each of those topics a little bit more in depth, but for now, I just want you to understand that that's what I'm talking about when I say holistic. It's understanding that each of those 6 foundational principles is going to have a huge impact on the way that your body works and functions and how you feel, how healthy you are, how vital you are. Okay, and if those things are out of whack, then you are going to be out of whack. And any sort of system that doesn't take all of that stuff into perspective can't really call itself holistic because it's not understanding the body system as a whole. And so as we talked about in the previous videos, it's not the specific treatments or foods that you're eating that are or are not holistic. Okay, that's why I said it has nothing to do with being alternative or new age. You can use alternative or new age things to facilitate your goals in your pursuit of being healthy. If you want to use crystals, that's fine. If you want to use acupuncture, that's fine. But those things in and of themselves are smaller slices of the pie that are not looking at the body as a holistic organism. Before we get out of here, I want to share with you a quote by John Harvey Kellogg that I like. And he says, "Avoid nostrums and patent medicines. The habitual use of any drug is harmful. The most eminent physicians are now agreed that very few drugs have any real curative value. The essential thing is right habits of life." Now, I don't say this to knock medicine. It can play an important role in making or keeping someone healthy. Some of the alternative treatments can play a role in making or keeping someone healthy. But what I'm here to teach you is right habits of life. Because if you want to be happy, if you want to be healthy, then you owe it to yourself to understand the benefits that living a holistic lifestyle can bring you. So let me know if you've got any questions, and I'll leave you with a question of my own, which is, should I dump the title, Holistic Health Professional? What do you think? And if not Holistic Health Professional, what should I call myself? Or should I keep it? Let me know.